the Kenyan GSU as a paramilitary unit is highly regarded. And they're trained for both unarmed combat and armed combat. So if you get a general officer from GSU, whether or not you've got a weapon, it can easily overshadow you and take charge and take responsibility.
Because they're well-trained.
They're well-trained. They're very mentally agile, physically agile. Most of us in this state wouldn't even qualify to join the GSU right now, given our frame. You know, So these guys are really prepared, and they're ready 24 hours a day for this kind of assignments. Therefore, it's almost unbelievable that a fella can go across the road and buy a panga and then move into the DP's residence, knowing very well that it's a protected area. And for all intents and purposes, it's a security installation. So there's no way you can have a fella from the streets buy a panga, then go to the DP's residence and disarm a GSU officer who is armed, and then, take charge of the situation for a lot of time. So in my view, looking at the information available in the public space, there is much more than meets the eye. There is, you can't arrive at any conclusion apart from that there is actually some mischief intended. And you see, the Inspector General has not come out to actually give us the story of what happened. But again, expecting the Inspector General...
There was a statement from the IG.
Well, if you look at that statement, really, and Esbone is a communication scholar, he'll tell you there's nothing you will get from that statement. In my view, it was a waste of time. We also need communication from the presidency, because apart from being a running mate to President Kenyatta, the deputy president is a national asset, and all Kenyans are supposed to be concerned about his safety. And the question people are beginning to ask, if you can have the deputy president's residence taken hostage for all this time, so what happens to the normal Kenyan, Wanjiku, in the streets? So there's really a lot that meets the eye, and we need to be told. However, we need to commend the GSU for a very swift and fast response. And this is the kind of response you would have expected when there was the Garissa attack. You remember for the Garissa attack, it took up to 8 hours before there was any resources deployed. But for Sugoi, a few minutes later, the place was overwhelming with resources, and you really begin to wonder whether or not, as a nation, we have prioritized our security interest. Because there is a genuine need now to have a GSU spread all over the nation. Because if a similar thing happened, say, in Bondo, it will take a lot of time because there's no similar GSU installation, say, around Bondo or around Lake Victoria. So maybe that's something that the IG needs to look as we make progress.
Kavemba, initially we were told there were several gunmen. It reduced to a lone gunman. Then it later changed to a man with a panga. What do you read in this?
Now, I think the Kenya police have a duty to explain to Kenyans because security is their docket. And the more they keep us in the dark, the more conspiracy theories we are going to hear. And I think they are duty-bound, actually, to come out clearly, because this is an issue of national concern. This is the deputy president. It is not just any other person. About what he's saying is, he also, there's a lot we don't know. Because, okay, you might have been trained for 5 years, and you are attacked by someone who also underwent the same training or even a more serious training than yours. So until we get to know who actually was this person who attacked, we cannot buy that line of argument that this mass is advancing, because it doesn't matter for how long you are trained, because the person also who's attacking you might be equally good, if not better. So we are waiting to get, that's why we need to know who are these people.
Security officers have a duty to react to that. Before I come to you, Dr. Chebnet, I'm sure you know how the the premises, the Deputy President's home looks like and how the environment is. Let me just start with you, Wheeler. There are those who had indicated that this is a terrorism attack.
Well,
it was a bit premature.
I think it's a bit premature. Using the word terrorist attack, terrorism attack, basically labels somebody, as somebody who is pushing an agenda that we don't know and is trying to hold the entire nation at ransom, which is not the case. It's a bit premature to talk about that. But I think looking at the development of the stories, I think you'd want to agree with Dismas, who is a risk analyst, that there is a risk when you have a well-trained GSU police force, overwhelmed by certain individuals. And of course, we have to acknowledge the fact that they responded with speed and they contained the situation. But the reason why this is becoming more of a media spectacle and attracting speculations that probably it's stage managed is the way the media has been allowed, to be the lead in all this. No one is giving much information. The bulk of what we are getting is through the media. And even the response from the IG is not as assertive as we want to believe. The people who seem to be having a clear picture of what happened comes back to the media. I know sometimes what happens in politics that politicians want to create a certain perception to achieve a certain agenda by allowing things to unfold so that the public interprets. And when it plays in the media, it works out for them. So there are things you cannot rule out. You cannot rule out the fact that it is stage managed because that is the perception that guys are getting. But again, you cannot talk about something being stage managed when even the person